Metroidvania is a genre I always wanted to get into. There's just something about the idea of solo exploring and opening up a complex world that sounds really fun and interesting to me. Uncovering secrets, learning new abilities, mastering its mechanics, and generally just getting completely immersed in its design. Why didn't I get around to playing them just yet? Because there's dozens of other genres and games I wanted to and did try out before that, not even mentioning little a month's worth of movies and anime to watch and music to listen to, and I did have some previous attempts. I played the Ori and the Blind Forest and both Guacamelee games for example, and I honestly loved them. But those are also games I would call Metroidvania light, as they can actually be quite handholdy in its design compared to what I actually expected. And this year, as a part of my Steam library cleanup, I finally decided it's time to look into the genre more thoroughly. So, welcome to my weird, super brief public journal entry of my experiences with it, looking at 3 different approaches to the genre I've seen so far: traditionalism, minimalism, and experimentation. Let's start with a game that's by far the most similar to the genre's initial namesake, both visually and gameplay-wise. At least from what I heard and seen. I'm not patient enough to play SNES games. Axiom Verge is a story of a scientist who just woke up without any memories into middle of a war, tasked with ending it once and for all. That super vague synopsis is all I'm going to tell you about the story, as it's actually not that simple, with one really neat twist in the middle of the game. Just note that it's enough to get you engaged and interested. I think it's obvious what I meant by visual similarity to Metroid, as this game is made out of really tightly put together pixel art, with creature and world design to boot, giving this game a really bizarre and retro atmosphere right from the get-go. And what did I mean by gameplay similarity? Well, you obviously explore the world and unlock new powers that allow you to get into locations you were previously unable to. New weapons, dashing, grappling, remotely controlled bots, reality deconstructing tools, or just a simple ability to jump higher. Here's the main reason though. Axiom Verge is not afraid to let you get lost. There are quality of life features here to help you out, like the ability to add pins to a really well done and detailed map. But that still doesn't change anything about the fact that there are times when you're just walking around, wondering where to go next. That might be part of the charm for you and one of the main reasons to like this genre. I know it was that case for me, until I once or twice ended up jumping around for 30 minutes and just turned to a guide. Remember, best time to use a guide is when you're not having fun anymore. Ultimately, Axiom Verge is one of those retro style games done right, and it's honestly a pretty good benchmark for both the biggest strengths and weaknesses of the genre. Ideal for people who just want to see what all the fuss is about and don't feel like going underground. Speaking about that, I'm not actually going to talk about Hollow Knight. I just barely started and I'm getting my ass beat. I'm talking about the different underground here. On the opposite side of the spectrum to Axiom Verge is Cave Story Plus, a weird platformer with dozens of bizarre and boyish characters, separated into individual levels, filled with small fetch quests and with a focus on fast, arcadey combat. Discussion about how much of a Metroidvania Cave Story Plus really is a topic for an entirely different video, so I'll just leave it like that. For now, I just want to talk about how much I like this game, which is a lot. Fast skill-based combat with a fun weapon level up mechanic, super cute pixel art and nice music, charming characters, and a plot that strikes that perfect, very Japanese balance between cutesy and endlessly horrifying. Cave Story Plus is one of those really typically indie cult classics. It's occasionally maybe a bit too hard for my taste. Its platforming physics can take a bit to get used to, and hiding its true ending behind one of the most bullshit hidden non-decisions I've ever seen is a dick move. But I still really enjoyed it despite those problems, and if you liked any of these games, you will probably like this as well. So we already went through the old school and minimalistic, and now let's talk about probably the most unique game from the genre, platformer in which you can't walk, Dandara. What do you mean you can walk? Well, instead of just moving normally, you leap between design spots. That can sound really limiting and annoying, but the level and world design are both complex and rich enough to make this into a really satisfying puzzle-like mechanic, where you treat every area like a little challenge to beat, figuring out the correct route or the best ways to position yourself in Dandara's combat, which is hectic and intense, designed around quick decision making, whether that means fast strikes or retreats. The enemy design goes hand in hand with this, their main objective being constantly keeping you on the move and fully utilizing Dandara's movement. apart from that, it's also a really neat, relaxing universe and story to explore. One about a world of artists slowly being consumed by, well, consumerism. Every location has its own fun gimmicks and mechanics. It looks great, it feels great, it sounds great, and overall I would say this is the most welcoming Metroidvania I ever played as well. So if you're watching this video in hope of finding an idle starting point, start here, you won't regret it. Axiom Verge, Cave Story Plus, or any other titles I briefly mentioned here obviously aren't bad options either. I said so myself earlier in this video. But there's just something about Dandara's tight design that made the exploring and getting lost part really enjoyable. There's a constant flow and energy to this game, perfectly striking that balance between feeling like you're discovering something new and running, leaping through previously visited locations in frustration. So that's it for my public journal entry. I might do more videos in this style, depending on how many new franchises, developers and genres I'll get into in the future, and how many of them I will genuinely love and care about. I really hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it, and in case you did, please consider liking, sharing or even subscribing. It would help this channel a lot. My name is Bate, thank you for watching, take care and I'll see you soon.